during an eclipse season, it's crazy. It is higher than high and lower than low, and it is fast moving energy. So it is not a time that we want to manifest with the moon. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast, where practical spirituality meets real life. Hi, I'm your host, She Tells Story. I'm a psychic medium, grief support counselor, professional astrologer, and a human design reader, and of course, a law of attraction master coach. With my unique blend of spiritual and practical tools, I am here to help you align with your soul-led purpose and ignite a life that sets your soul on fire. In this podcast, we are going to explore the principles of energy, astrology, spirituality, and psychology to help you heal your grief and create an aligned life and business from the inside out. Whether you are looking to deepen your intuition, understand your cosmic design, or transform your business, this podcast is for you. Join me each week for insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories that will guide you on your journey to living your very best life. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at She Tells Story or wherever you listen to this podcast. Let's dive in and start this transformative journey together. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast. Welcome to the Astro forecast for the week of September 16th through to the 22nd. We have entered eclipse season. And this is no ordinary eclipse, not to say that any eclipse is ordinary, but in astrology, eclipse season means that there's a new moon or a full moon close to the nodes of the moon. And the nodes of the moon in astrology represent our karmic destiny and our karmic past as a collective, as in the eclipse. So if the eclipse is happening at sensitive points in your chart, there can be massive breakthroughs, massive evolutionary happenstances, things that are really changing your life in big ways. So it can be the diagnosis, people dying, getting a promotion, getting pregnant, things that really change the direction of your life. It's also a time of turbulence because there is an evolutionary opportunity for the collective. So the energy is amplified. Think of frequency as natural kind of sine wave. And then during an eclipse season, it's crazy. It is higher than high and lower than low, and it is fast moving energy. So it is not a time that we want to manifest with the moon. Usually we'd set an intention with the new moon and we understand what is being released with the full moon. We can set an intention and bury it on a new moon, and on a full moon we can burn it, right? Burn whatever we want to release now into the universe. But we are part of regular cycles that are already in play. So a full moon, which is what we're having this week, the energy that started this cycle for this full moon started back 6 months ago. So whatever intention you set back then is already in motion. Whatever was happening in your life during that part of your chart where that new moon was, and I'll give you more information about that. It will come to culmination now, but there is nothing that you should be doing in terms of active release or trying to push the energy in a direction because it is very potent. It's like trying to ride a bucking bronco and telling the bronco, take me to McDonald's. Like it's not interested. It's not interested in your agenda. It's got its own agenda. So that's why we sort of say don't manifest during the moon. It is not a time to put out your moon water or charge your crystals. Think of it as energy that is very sporadic and very powerful, and you don't actually quite understand what it comes with. So putting that energy and try to harness it and then use it later is like using something of a wild card. You don't know what it's going to have. You don't want to ingest that. I would definitely never ingest moon water that was created during an eclipse. It's just wild energy that your body's like, what are you doing? Why are you putting this in me? I don't want this, right? So just being mindful of when you're doing manifesting, when you are doing rituals like charging your crystals, clearing your crystals, candles, charging moon water. And some of you might be listening to this, and you're like, what is all of that stuff? It is things that you can do during the moon cycles, specifically more so the full moon, to kind of harness and bring in that energy into your beingness, into your life, to use it in other ways, that is typically used in spirituality, not during the time of eclipse. Okay, so just wanted to preface that this week. So we start out this week on Monday, September 16th, with a second quarter moon phase in Aquarius. So this is now setting the tone for the week ahead. And this moon in Aquarius is very cerebral, right? It's going to think through feelings. It's going to think about how it can benefit all. It's very humanitarian. It's very resourceful. It's very masterful. It wants to take care of everyone in a way that all the resources are being allocated. So this is going to be a week where you're going to really want to think through rather than fly off the handle. And I guess you never want to fly off the handle. It's never a good week for that, but this week is going to be very emotional. And so I'm going to invite you to really be introspective this week and just notice what's happening within you, which is this Aquarius moon is bringing us that gift. On Tuesday, September 17th, we have the most powerful moon of the year. I'm going to be bold to declare that. It's a super full moon eclipse in Pisces. So if you're keeping track, if you know anything about astrology, you'll know eclipses come in pairs, right? Because the north node and the south node. So we're going to have a new moon and a full moon next to the nodes of the moon. And the nodes of the moon sit in opposite zodiac signs, exactly opposite of each other. Think of it like an arrow. And the arrow, the sort of the feathery part of the arrow, I don't know the proper terminology of that, but the back end of the arrow is the south node, and that is our karmic past. That is, sometimes they call it the tail of the dragon. It is the mess that becomes our message. Sometimes astrologers will say that that is the special gifts that you bring in from your past lives. I don't think they're special gifts. I personally think they've been the hardest parts of me to understand. So it's your mess that becomes your message. So it's what you learn about in life. It's your traumas from your childhood. It is all the things that you have had to deal with that are absolutely crap. And then the north node in your chart, this is in your chart, is the top of the arrow. It's the arrowhead, and it's where you are going to. What is your life lesson that you wanted to experience in this lifetime? And it's an overarching lesson. It's not like love myself. It could be, but it's more dynamic than that. So where that north node is in your chart will be where you are wanting to grow towards. And it's a growth cycle, right? It's not one and done. I've arrived at the top of the mountain. That's not that. We're getting there. So as a karmic destiny for the collective, the nodes of the moon, which I won't get into reasons here, go backwards through the zodiac, and they go through each zodiac sign. It takes 18 months, and it takes 18 years to go all the way around. So these 18 months, it's not yet in Pisces, Virgo. It is currently in Aries, Libra. So in Aries, Libra, the north node is in Aries. So our karmic destiny right now is to try to learn how to be independent of past cycles of people pleasing, of being dependent. Codependency is on the other side in Libra. So we are learning how to release codependency and come more into our own authority, how to learn who we are and that we have a gift to bring into the world. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So we are learning our pioneering, bold, courageous ways again. And if you have forgotten or they were trained out of you, these 18 months that we have been through are going to bring that to the fore. Now, the nodes won't move out of Aries, Libra until January. So we still have some more time here that we're going to be just moving through that. But because the north node is at the beginning degrees of Aries and this full moon is at the late degrees of Pisces, this is considered an eclipse. And this eclipse now, even though it's not in Aries, it's in Pisces, is going to be foreshadowing what we're going to be going through in the next 18 months, starting in 2025. So, this is a glimpse into our future. And Pisces is all about spirituality, cults, compassion, love, healing, religion, being there for each other, one love. So this is a really interesting time because these two themes are going to come together during the super full moon eclipse in Pisces on Tuesday, September 17th. It will be exact at 10:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 8:34 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is my time zone, and 8:34 p.m. Mountain or Pacific Time. So, and this is happening at 25 degrees and 40 minutes of Pisces. So if you are a little bit more adept at astrology and you understand astrology, you can look to see where 25 degrees of Pisces is and see where this full moon is going to hit. So because my birthday is tomorrow on the 18th, this is hitting exactly on my 25 degree sun in Virgo. This is going to be a big opposition. So for anyone who has birthdays along this timeline in either the previous 3 days or the past 3 days, I would even say 5 days, that's pretty strong still, is that you are going to have a hell of a year ahead. So luckily I have this podcast, so you guys get to walk this path with me. I'm pretty much an open book, but I do share the scab, not the wound. So you'll hear about it as I have moved through it. And I'm going to share with you what this means for me. So if you have a birthday on a full moon, it means a culmination. There'll be a year of endings, of things tying off, things finishing, life lessons coming to kind of culmination, if you will, and the fruits of your labor being realized. So pretty exciting, to have that. But the eclipse makes me a bit nervous because it's like, okay, now there's going to be like very interesting endings or very interesting culminations or wonderful fruits of the labor, So it's going to be very interesting. This bucking bronco energy is going to literally be imprinted in my year ahead chart. We call it a solar return chart when your birthday, on the day of your birth, when the sun returns back to its exact position in your birth chart, that is called your solar return. So it's not always on your birthday. It can be a day before or a day after. And today it's happening for me, even though my birthday is on the 18th. So it's going to be interesting to notice this year ahead. So for the collective, all of you with birthdays not on this day, again, this is a glimpse into the future. So this is going to be really interesting to just notice what is happening for you. And because it's a full moon, it's the sun and the moon are in opposite degrees of the zodiac, right? Exact opposite. So the moon is at the 25th degree of Pisces and the sun is at the 25 degrees of Virgo, which is my sun. And sitting with Neptune, or sitting with the moon, is Neptune. So Neptune's at home in Pisces. It is sitting with the moon at this time. And this is really enhancing our sensitivity, our intuition, our psychic ability. We're really aware of emotion, but we're also very wanting to just help people. So this is going to increase our want to be pleasers, increase our permeability of our boundaries. This is going to be really important for us to have very strong boundaries. We want to close up those boundaries and use discernment and maybe even use delay tactics like, let me get back to you on that, or I have to think about that, or I have to check with my so-and-so, check with my cat. I don't know. It just give yourself some space to make the decision. So this super full moon eclipse is going to be a glimpse into our karmic direction for the coming 18 months, bringing illumination and release. This powerful lunation is conjunct Neptune retrograde, emphasizing spiritual insights and dissolution of illusions. So because Neptune is retrograde, it's removing guises. Now, Neptune rules Pisces. So we always look to the ruling planet of the moon, of what's happening during a full moon or a new moon. But also adding a little bit more spice to this mix is there's a square between the sun and the moon to Jupiter. We call that a T square because it looks like a T. And that Jupiter is going to make things even bigger, right? Emotions bigger, ideas bigger, relationship issues bigger, because the bigger it is, the more harder it is to avoid, right? Jupiter expands whatever it touches, good or bad. So if you have relationship dynamics that are not serving you, people that are benefiting from your porous boundaries, this might make you sick because you have no choice. Your body's like, I can't, I got no vitality left for this nonsense. We're going to become sick, and you're going to have to learn to rely on people to help you rather than you being the one to help everybody else, right? Like there will be life lessons that are going to come to the fore now because this super moon eclipse don't play, right? It's not going to play around anymore. It's not having your patterns of hiding. It will pull you out of hiding and burn it to the ground. Like, so you are going to experience that. And if you have been doing the work and you have been stepping into the spotlight and owning your power and coming into boundaries work and with kind and loving heart, that's Pisces and that Neptune, then there's going to be a beautiful spiritual awakening happening now. And it's going to bring about bold action. You're going to be like, where am I going with this? What am I wanting to do? And stepping into that bold action, right? You might even do a moon circle and be bringing women in to help them flow with this energy. Letting go for new beginnings. Old emotional paths are being released, older emotional patterns are being released, and spiritual beliefs and religious beliefs are coming to, you're going to see them for what they are. And you're going to decide, do I want to, am I into this? Or am I not into this anymore? You might have grown up with the spiritual belief that your intuition is dangerous or mediumship is bad, and you realize as you're doing more research and understanding more about yourself that none of that is true. They're all parts of you. They're all soul-led gifts, and spirit is just you without a body, and they're just here wanting to let you know that they're safe, and they're protecting and guiding and loving you. There's nothing bad or wrong about that. But some religion makes that feel bad because then they control you. You don't have to listen to, you have to listen to them. They're going to tell you what's right or wrong. Don't listen to spirit. Don't listen to yourself. No, we want to control that narrative. And that comes back to the King James Bible, y'all. Like there's so much there I can talk about, but I won't get into it on this Astro forecast. So just so you know, this is a time now to balance compassion with self-assertion. Right? More empowered, independent version of you is coming forward now. And whether it likes it or not, it's gonna take that. It's gonna declare it boldly. So where are you not allowing yourself to be that? This eclipse is gonna call you out. And remember, you're flowing with this energy. You're just like trying to surf the wave. It's going to be a little turbulent. Just hold on and just keep surfing the wave, right? Just keep surfing the wave. So you can look back at the last new moon in Pisces that was on March 10th, 2024, and see what are some of the patterns that are coming to fruition now or coming up now to be healed. You might notice a correlation with that. All right. But that's going to be the energy of the week, y'all. Like I could just stop it here. This is eclipse season. It lasts for 6 months. The energy can last for 6 months post eclipse, and it starts about 2 weeks prior. So you might have been feeling this already at the beginning of September. This is no ordinary September for sure, but this is no ordinary year. This is a corridor year into a massive change year for 2025. So this is not a time that you can just hold on to all the old poop that you've been carrying around with you, right? Your body's like, flush this out. And that's what might feel like it's happening right now. On Wednesday, September 18th, my birthday, it's Mercury opposite Saturn. This is the energy that's like literally imprinting on my year ahead. So I kind of laugh because I was like, well, I'm just going to have to notice where this is going to show up for me. For the collective, Mercury is our mind and Saturn is our responsibility. And that Virgo Pisces axis is where we're losing ourselves in analysis paralysis and holding ourselves back from being who we want to be. So this is going to highlight challenges in balancing practical communication and dreamy idealism. This aspect calls for grounded and realistic communication. It's a time to confront communicative barriers and work diligently towards clear and effective expression. It's not just the expression, though. This is about boundaries. This is about where are you being so accommodating that you are actually pulling from your resources and not allowing yourself the forward momentum that you truly desire because you've continually poured into the cups of people who don't pour back to you. That's going to be an interesting one for all of us. So keep that in mind as you navigate this week. On Thursday, September 19th, we have the Sun trine to Uranus in Taurus. So the Sun in Virgo is shining its light. A trine is a harmonious aspect, and Uranus is retrograde in Taurus, bringing up all the ish around where we are committing ourselves and doing things that are not in alignment with our values. So this is a very destabilizing aspect, even though they're working together. So the Sun in Virgo forms a harmonious trine and enhancing innovative and practical efforts. So this is going to give us some genius ideas and help to really breaking out of those patterns. This can be cool people. This can be an unusual workshop. This can be a new healing technique that is going to really shake loose all of the poop that you've been holding on to. This aspect supports thinking outside the box while maintaining practicality. It's a great time to implement innovative changes in your daily routines and work habits. It's a great time to take care of yourself. Really, these two Earth planets are giving you stability. And what are some things that you can do? Maybe you can take a HIIT class or a TRX class or Taibo or a Zumba class, something that's outside the box that you normally wouldn't take, that's going to shore up your body and help you to create more longevity for you. So that's a really nice manifestation of this energy. And then on Friday, September 20th, we have the Sun opposite Neptune. This Neptune is dreamy, idealistic, confusion. It can also be a deception when it's in opposition, and the Sun is our vitality and our identity. So this opposition is bringing about a need for balancing practical and ideals and idealistic things or spirituality. So this aspect can bring clarity to any illusions or misunderstandings. It's a time to integrate your practical efforts with your higher visions and dreams. This is a balancing act between our discerning mind and our spirituality. And Neptune is retrograde, so it's kind of showing us where are we not being truly aligned with our spiritual gifts, our purpose, passion, and mission that's coming out from our intuition, and where are we losing ourselves in just all the doing, the masculine, right? We want to do, technically Virgo is a feminine sign, but this is about the doing and the producing and the control versus the flow and the intuition and our soul-led purpose. And where are you not listening to that? Where are you trying to go in a different direction? Because it's going to bring that up. And it's going to bring up as well, again, porous boundaries. This is not a time to make big investment changes. It's not a time to make big relationship changes. Neptune is not helping you see things properly. So really be aware of deception at this time, and not trusting new people or anyone that doesn't come without a referral. It's just not a time to make big changes in terms of your portfolio or money kind of situations, right? And then also happening this week, we have Saturday, September 21st. Mercury is square to Jupiter. So this is big ideas, big thinking. We have lots of ideas and we want to do things, and we need to get realistic. So there's a tension between detailed thinking and expressive ideas. This aspect encourages balancing meticulous planning with big picture thinking. And you might have feel like we might have had this sign before. It actually happened during Mercury retrograde as well. So this is now really nailing down the details of your bigger plans that you might have. It's important to ensure that they're both detail focused and broader perspectives are considered. But when you think about the bigger plan, this is wonderful energy to get you the details to make things happen for yourself. So let's say you have wanting to go to Italy, which is literally on my vision board. And now the details are going to come together of like, okay, where are we going? And we're going to be in Europe. So maybe we hop a plane, and where are we going to stay? And how much is it going to cost? And let's put together a budget and work towards that and make that happen. That's really great energy for that this week. So note to self. Also on this Saturday, Venus in Libra is in conjunct to Neptune. retrograde in Pisces. So this is going to be a time where we really have to be aware of where we're idealizing people, putting people on pedestals, or where we're wearing rose-colored glasses, and they're going to be removed now. Right? This aspect encourages finding balance between romantic ideals and realistic expectations in all areas of your values. So this includes money, relationships, beauty, aesthetic, spending money on clothes, on tattoos, on the things that we, think are beautiful, and where are we not really aligning to what our true values are, right? If you're spending on things, then you realize you're not actually having money to pay off your debt, if that was one of the things that you want to do, right? And then finally, as we get to Sunday, September 22nd, the Sun in Virgo is trine Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. This is a very supportive aspect about transformation and practical efforts. So this aspect supports deep transformation and empowerment in practical matters. It's a time to harness your inner strength and make significant changes to your daily routines and work. So anytime Pluto and you hear the word transformation, it's not easy. It's not easy. Transformation means a part of you has to die. Part of you has to fall away. That's not an easy aspect to have. So it is a time now, though, we can use this energy to clear out things, right? Pluto is death, rebirth, and transformation. This is a lovely aspect for fall cleaning out your closets, cleaning out your house, cleaning out the garage, using that energy in a very productive way of clean out, because we've come past that full moon now. So now we are entering into a time of release. So this would be a good time to do that. Really wonderful time. Also on Sunday, September 22nd, the sun enters Libra. For those of you who might recognize this is called the fall equinox and Libra season. So the fall equinox is equal day, equal night, and now the days are getting a lot darker. So it's going to be a lot less light, coming through until we hit the winter solstice, and then the light will return, right? So it's now equal day, equal night, and then we're going to start to lose more light now. So it's going to be darker on average days. And Libra season, happy birthday to my beautiful Libras out there. They are seriously the most beautiful people, right? They're ruled by Venus. I can spot a Libra a mile away. They're so amicable. They're so flirty and cute. And there's just something about them that's just so kind and considerate, and a little people pleaser, to be honest, because they hate conflict. They just don't like conflict. They want to balance out with others so badly that they will give and give and give and give from themselves until they have no more to give, and then it'll explode and it'll right size itself, right? So Libra is the scales, right? We're always kind of weighing things out. Fairness is so important to a Libra. And they really do care deeply about people. They're very kind-hearted, and they really just want to see everybody win, right? They're very peaceful by nature. They're so ethereal. So this is a time of emphasizing harmony, relationships, balance, and creating that sort of recalibration, because balance is kind of a weird word, because like, what are we actually balancing? It's always changing. So it's recalibrating in our life and celebrating the beauty of relationships. So I feel like the world is going to need a lot of Libra during this time, because there's just so much conflict that's happening and so much me versus we, right? Aries is the me and Libra is the we, and we need both. Who am I in relationships, and who am I when I'm not in relationships? So Libra is more so of who am I in relationships, and relationships complete me, because when I'm in a relationship, I learn a lot about myself, right? So the downside of Libra season is we can be very indecisive. We can give a lot to others without receiving back. It can be sort of an emptying of your cup. So really being aware of where you are giving your energy, your gifts and talents, your awareness, right? Your attention, and hopefully it's with somebody or something that gives back to you as well. And then also on this day, we have Venus in Virgo square to Pluto retrograde. Now, Venus rules Libra. So this brings my mind, and given the Venus in in conjunct to Neptune, this is going to bring up time of turbulence in relationships. And I'm going to say time of turbulence in relationships that are not working. Okay. So this is not like everything's good and then everything blows up all of a sudden in your face. So that's not what this is. This is bringing up transformation and highlighting the dynamics in relationships that aren't working for you in the relationships that aren't working. So if there's cracks in a relationship, this aspect is going to bring that to the surface. That's it. Right. And it's bringing it to the surface for an opportunity, right? You have free will. So you have the free will to choose to come back together, maybe do counseling, talk about things, have deep conversations. And with Mercury square to Jupiter, you can have great conversations now and really bring to light some great solutions of how we can both win. Where don't you feel seen and heard? And how can I help you with that? Or it could bring up relationships that just need to break apart because they're not, there's nothing more for them there. So this aspect encourages deep transformation, there's that word again, and addressing relationship issues. It's time to confront and transform any underlying issues in your relationships. So power struggles are possible. Pluto is power and control. And who wants the power and control? What is power and control? Like, this should be an equal relationship. So why does someone feel like they don't have enough power and control, or what's happening? What needs to be healed, right? And then to add a little bit more to this is Venus is going to move into Scorpio. So when it moves into Scorpio from Libra, this is more very intense energy. Venus wants deep, passionate, transformative experiences. And she's not going to be subtle. She's not going to settle for, your bullshit. She's going to go deep into what is happening here, and she wants that transformation. So this is about deep connection and transformative love. Scorpio, Pluto rules Scorpio. So that Pluto playing with Virgo or with Venus is going to bring up, where are you needing transformation in your relationships and the things that you love and value? Venus rules values. So in Scorpio now, our love language is going to be about deep conversations, seeing people for who they are. No more fluffy stuff, right? We're not wanting to talk about the weather. We want to talk about, why do you love what you love? Do you love me? Where is your trauma? And how can we now heal that so that we become even closer together? Venus in Scorpio is also really great sex. So this is a time of, again, deep, passionate connection, and through the intimacy of sex, right? Not just for the sake of it. That's Leo. This is about deep connection and intimacy. So that deep connection and intimacy is going to continue now. It's going to bring a little bit more seriousness. And then Scorpio, though, is also death, rebirth, and transformation. It's bringing light to the darkness. So we're wanting to heal. We're wanting to have those deeper, therapy type of transformative situations with our relationships. Right? So this is an interesting week, right? This is a long week. There's a lot of aspects here. This is going to bring about a lot of change. So you're going to really need grounding, deep breaths, journaling, therapy. If you have a coach or a therapist, good idea to talk these things out and to really understand that the emotions that you're experiencing are valid. It's all valid. Thank you for being here, and wishing you the most amazing week ahead. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Story of Spirit podcast. I hope you have found inspiration, support, and practical insights to help you align with your soul-led purpose and live a life that sets your soul on fire. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your support helps us to reach more listeners and continues to provide valuable content. I sincerely appreciate every share, and I know it is how most people find me. It is because caring people like you have shared me with them at the right and perfect time. For more resources, insights, and to connect with our community, please visit us at www.shetellstory.com and follow us on Instagram at shetellstory. Remember, your journey to a more aligned and vibrant life is just the beginning, and I am here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, stay aligned, stay inspired, and keep shining your beautiful light. This is She Tells Story, signing off from the Story of Spirit podcast. Here's the legalese that's required by our lawyers. This podcast and the YouTube channel represents the opinions of She Tells Story and her guests to the show. The content should not be taken as medical, psychological, or financial advice. This series is informational and entertainment purposes only. Because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional, your mental health dream team, your financial advisor, or anyone else that's an expert in the field in where you are thinking of making big choices in your life.